this is being restored, believe it or not. But the committee fell apart, and so the progress ceased. It's going to be cleaned. It has already been repaired. It was sinking. It's 100 years old, over 100 years old, that it's been standing here. And the back part of it was sinking into the ground. So that has all been reinforced now. And hopefully it won't sink again for another 100 years. But it is one of the most famous statues in the country because it was done by Daniel Chester French, the man who did the very first thing he ever did as a young man, age 22, was the Minuteman statue at the Old North Bridge, because he was a Concord boy, and that was his first production. And his last was the seated Lincoln in Washington, D.C. So he obtained worldwide recognition. And this was one of his own favorites. It is called Morning Glory, M-O-U-R-N, meaning sad glory. And it is the angel of death guarding the graves of these three brothers who all died during the Civil War. When Abraham Lincoln called for volunteers to make up his army, all the young men in Concord gathered together. I think there was something like 70 of them, to form a group of their own to go off to fight in the Civil War. And it was a grand occasion. The town just called a holiday. They had a big banquet in the Middlesex Hotel for anybody in town, especially the boys. And then there was a parade to lead them off to the railroad station, where a special car had been sent out on the train to pick them up and take them to Washington, D.C. to join the Army. At that time, there were 4 boys in the Melvin family, and they all tried to sign up. The 3 did, and the 4th one was not old enough. He was still 15, and he couldn't pass the test, so he had to wait till his 16th birthday. But that was only a few months later, and he did join them. So all 4 of the Melvin boys fought in the Civil War, but only one came home, and that was James. One of them died of his wounds on the battlefield at Petersburg. One died in a hospital of, I think, a disease or an injury of anyway. And the 3rd one died in Andersonville prison, the hellhole of the war, which was very sad. But the 4th one came back to Concord, and he became quite well-to-do in his lifetime. So he ordered his friend, Daniel Chester French, the boy he'd grown up with here in Concord, to do a memorial to his fallen brothers. So this is what French produced himself. The laurel leaves in her left hand are the symbol of victory. And if you can see her wings draping down behind her. And if you make out, very difficult to see, but her shroud is an American flag. You can see parts of the stars on the top of it there. So it is one of the, and when Dan French was asked of all his 50 more famous statues that he had sculpted during his lifetime, which one did he like the best? He would always say Morning Victory, because he knew the boys. He'd grown up with them.